I'm in Haldern. Behind me there are some sheeps, and I'm sitting here being the singer of the soundtrack of our lives, EBBOT LUNDBERG, from Gothenburg, Sweden. Well, no, it was more like the missing link between all the other albums. So it's like a building, you know, you're building a pyramid, and this is the last stone. So, which, you know, connects. It's like a connection to all the other albums and the whole idea of Soundtrack of Our Lives. So it's a mission that we completed, and a purpose that we have served as a band. But it doesn't mean we're not going to play live, you know. So we're playing live still until the end of 2012. Then we'll see. There's a lot of other stuff that we have to do, and so I can't really tell if we, or how long, or where, or what's going to happen, you know, with the band after 2012. Yeah, I kind of you felt that, you know, and I think we all knew that this is it, you know. There's nothing more to do in this band, you know. Well, it was just something that we felt, you know, being together for 18 years, and it made sense also to do, you know, 7 albums, and also being able to do, you know, to quit the best way, you know, to end in a good way, not fade away like most bands do, you know. We had that experience before we formed the Soundtrack of Our Lives, so we didn't want to do it again, you know. We wanted to do this, okay, this is the lifespan of the Soundtrack of Our Lives, at least as a group, you know. It has to live its own life now. We say hello to say goodbye. Something that completes what we have done, and it's the last chapter, and the direction it is pointing at is, you know, a future that is more interesting than probably the world that we're living in right now. So, but I can't really. It's hard to talk about it, because it, you know, let the music do the talking. You know, it's very hard to explain. You have to find out. Actually, it gets to you slowly, like an amoeba. This time we really did it in a mellow way, I would say. There was just this sort of peaceful feeling, which was a really good experience. So there was no hang-ups or no hard feelings or whatever. It's maybe not that much rock and roll. But hey, where's the rock? It's an honest album. And there goes my heroes, and all that I used to trust. We're the ones I cursed and the ones who cried. Well, I hope there are a lot of new bands actually. There is one really good band from Gothenburg called the EBBOT, and there's nobody supporting them in Sweden, because, and I can see, you know, the same things with us. You know, there was the same thing for us, because we had a really hard time in Sweden when we started, and then we got like famous outside Sweden, and then suddenly, you know, they started to like us as well. I can see that coming to the EBBOT, and there's another band as well called the Caviar Days. It's with 2 girls in the front. Pretty good as well. But check out the EBBOT. They're quite good. I actually brought their albums. They just came out with the second one. The first one I was producing actually, and I thought they split up after that one. But they made another one which was better, much better. So I'm really happy about it. I hope they come down here and play. I hope they will make it here in Germany, because they deserve it. They're a really good rock and roll band. That's the best thing that could happen this year. I think, you know, the gigs that we have here in Haldern were pretty good, and I have really good. We always had really good experience playing in Germany, especially at the festivals. Except for Rock am Ring, because I think that's too big. You know, that's more like a market, or like going into the supermarket, and you're treated like cattle. But otherwise, you know, festivals like Haldern and you know, festivals they have like in the woods in Berlin or whatever. And also, I think it's a shame we didn't spend more time in Germany than we did as Soundtrack of Our Lives. I think that was a mistake. But you know, we tried to come here in this fall and play. With a grin up on your face. Well, it was more like an album that I recorded last year. That was more like an art exhibition, so it's more like a sound collage, you know, not really a solo album in that sense, but it's one song, so the intro is about 38 minutes, and before the song comes on, it's quite funny. I have it actually with me. I received it yesterday, so it's going to be released in Sweden next week. But it's kind of funny. It's just a, you know, like a bonus. Here, you know, take this. It's very psychedelic. It's a good album to, you know, fall asleep or get lost in your mind. Schnapps is very effective, so I'm getting tired of beer, but I choose beer because the taste is much better. And actually, I have my own beer in Sweden, but it's not me who's making it. It's actually a fan that makes EBBOT Ale. So yeah, it's very good. So yeah, but he did it without asking, and I was kind of like, whoa, you know, what's going on? And then I had a taste of the beer, and it was really good. It was the best beer best ale I've ever had, actually. So it's fantastic. Sometimes it's really good to be an artist. Weed, absolutely. Because we don't, you know, it's really hard to get weed in Sweden. But cocaine, no problem. Heroin, no problem. You know, all the hard GHB or whatever, you know, the worst drugs, no problem. But weed, you can get hashish, no problem. But just, you know, play good weed. That's the hardest thing. So I love weed. That's why I'm here.